When designing a lighting system, you need to add switches in order to indicate the lighting switches or lighting controls that operate specified lighting fixtures. In the south portion of the building, I have begun laying out a lighting system. At this point, I need to add switches to these rooms. To place a lighting switch, on the Systems ribbon, in the Electrical panel, expand the Device drop-down. As you can see, there are several different categories of electrical devices that can be placed. I'll click Lighting. When I do, the ribbon changes to the Modify Place Lighting Device contextual ribbon. Since most lighting devices are hosted components, there is a placement panel on the contextual ribbon. Here, you can choose to place on vertical face, place on face, or place on work plane. Place on vertical face is used to place wall-hosted devices. Place on face is used to place ceiling-hosted devices. If components such as walls or ceilings are not available, you can use Place on Work Plane to host the devices to a level. I'll select Place on Vertical Face. If you need to load additional families, you can click Load Family in the Mode panel to open the Load Family dialog. You could also select Model in Place to create a custom family here in the project. With the Lighting tool active, the Type selector contains all of the lighting devices that have been loaded into the project. As you can see, for the Lighting Switches family, there are several types, such as Circuit Breaker, Dimmer, Single Pole, Three-Way, and several others. I'll select the Single Pole switch. Before placing a switch, you should check the elevation and offset in the Properties palette. The offset in this case is actually the distance from the host element, and the elevation is the height above the reference level. Additionally, you should check the switch voltage. To place a lighting device, I'll move the cursor over a wall near the door. When I do, I can see a preview of the fixture, and I can simply click to place an instance. If the fixture is hosting to the wrong face of the wall, you can press spacebar to flip it. To place additional lighting devices, just click where you want to place a device. Once I've placed a few, I'll expand the Type selector and select the Three-Way switch. When I place an instance of this type, you can see that a 3 tag has been placed along with the switch. I'll click Modify to end the command. Realize that you can select a fixture and modify any of the parameters in the Properties palette after the element has been placed. With a switch selected, I'll click Edit Family in the contextual ribbon to open the family in the Family Editor. When I zoom in on the device, I can see the actual switch geometry and an electrical connector. I'll switch to the reference level floor plan view. Now when I zoom in on the device, I can see the symbol that appeared in the plan view back in the project. When I select the symbol, you can see that it is actually a generic annotation family. That is why the Edit Family button is available in the contextual ribbon. I'll click Edit Family. Now the Lighting Switches Annotation family opens. The switch annotation is simply made of lines. There is also a label placed next to the annotation in order to indicate switches such as three-way switches. I'll select the label and then click Edit Label in the contextual ribbon. In the Edit Label dialog, you can see that this label references the label parameter. I'll click Cancel to close the dialog. Then I'll expand the application menu and choose Close. I'll also select No to not save any changes. Back in the Lighting Switches family, I'll click Family Types in the Properties panel. Revit displays the Family Types dialog. When I look under the Identity Data section, I can see a label parameter. The value for this parameter is what appears next to the switch annotation. For example, for the circuit breaker type, CB appears next to the switch symbol, and for the three-way type, 3 appears next to the switch symbol. So as you can see, this is one family with several types created simply by changing the label that appears next to the switch annotation.